Hello, this is Spellbinder with this would-be humorous article written by Sybil Edmonds, staff writer for the, well, I guess she was on the Boiling Frog, but it was also on Redact News, and she was a whistleblower on 9/11, said she knew that there was pre-evidence that this attack was going to happen, but no one would listen, and they put a gag order on her. She finally came out and told her story, though. This is Tuesday, November 23rd. I'll have this up on the 24th, November 2010. It says the DHS-TSA Terror Watch List includes dead and long dead U.S. citizens. Resilient founding fathers with propensity for resisting among 1 million plus Terror Watch List suspects. And this is how it goes. In May 2009, the Inspector General of the Justice Department found that 35% of the nominations to the Department of Homeland Security's Terror Watch List were outdated. Many people were not removed in a timely manner, and tens of thousands of names were placed on the list without predicate. A September 2009 report by the Inspector General of the Department of Homeland Security found that the process for cleaning innocent travelers from the list is a complete mess. Although significant, both reports failed to mention their findings on the number of names of already dead U.S. citizens who seem to be stuck there permanently. Even more significantly, it's been reported that the TSA Terror Watch List includes the names of long-dead but well-known and well-respected U.S. citizens, including several members of a group of collectively known as the Founding Fathers of the United States. So far, based on our former and current TSA sources, we have been able to confirm the inclusion of 2 such long-dead persons on at least one DHS-TSA Joint Terror Watch List: Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin. A former TSA manager and a member of the National Security Whistleblowers Coalition, NSWBC, provided us with his first-hand knowledge of what he referred to as the DHS-TSA Terror Watch List black hole, where U.S. citizen names remain forever, according to this source. The current 1 million plus list contains the names of many deceased U.S. persons. Since there is no working mechanism in place to remove names, whether due to mistaken inclusion or those deemed cleared later, or even those no longer alive, we were talking about the names of thousands of dead Americans who still remain on our Terror Watch List and keep getting renewed. Yet they spend millions of dollars to maintain this black hole and keep it classified secret from the public. The most explosive aspect of these recent reports, confirmed by 3 former and current government officials, was the revelation that since 2002, several well-known historical figures known as the Founding Fathers, who served our nation in various capacities, including one U.S. president, and all that over 200 years ago, have been on one joint DHS-TSA Terror Watch List. Though documents and several sources, we have been able to confirm 2 such cases involving Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin. After several attempts, I was able to secure a phone interview with the current TSA chief, John Pistol. By agreeing to his conditions, Mr. Pistol asked me to sign an agreement pledging that I would provide him with the names of my sources who had leaked these reports and the names of the Founding Fathers currently on the DHS-TSA Terror Watch List. I complied. At the end of this article, I will provide you with additional details on this fulfilled agreement. And within an hour after I faxed his office and signed the notarized agreement, we began our interview. From now on, Sybil Edmonds will be SE and John Pistol will be JP. SE. Sir, I have confirmation from 3 sources, but For the record, I would like to receive your confirmation on the report that at least 2 members of the group, the Founding Fathers, Mr. Thomas and Jefferson and Mr. Benjamin Franklin, are on one of your most comprehensive joint terror watch lists. John Pistol, JP that is. Let me first express my utter contempt for those who leak classified and highly sensitive information such as this. As you will see soon, we will hold these individuals accountable for divulging sensitive national security intelligence. And to answer your question, yes. Based on solid evidence, evaluation, and subsequent investigations and reviews, we have determined that those individuals, Mr. Jefferson and Mr. Franklin, pose a high-level threat to our national security. After careful review and investigation, they were placed on our watch list in 2003, and we have remained there since. Our biannual review still finds them to be a threat to our security. SE. Could you please explain what you mean by threat to our national security? I mean, these individuals are revered as the founders of our democracy, our political system, architects of our nation's constitution. How could they possibly be perceived as a threat to national security? JP. It is because, whether indirectly or even unwittingly, they aided and abetted our enemies, who happen to be the bad, very bad terrorists. With inflammatory writings and speeches, they undermine our national security. And that, my friend, is what the terrorists are hoping for, waiting for. SE. I still don't see it, Mr. Pistol, okay? Let's take Thomas Jefferson here. Please tell me how Mr. Jefferson can possibly aid and abet terrorists. JP. Have you read this man's preposterous writings? Have you paid attention to his shameless propaganda against government? The God? Just listen to this quote. The spirit of resistance to government is so viable on certain occasions that I wished it to be always kept alive. It will often be exercised when young or when wrong, but better so than not to be exercised at all. This man, this anarchist, is encouraging Americans to resist us, the government, who are in charge of protecting their national security, by making us, the government, the enemy of you, the people. He is making the terrorists the friends of you, the people, because you, the people, are either with us, the government, or with the enemy. You understand that, Miss Edmonds? And while we are at it, here is another quote. And what country can preserve its liberties if its rulers are not warned from time to time that its people preserve the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms. We, the rulers, of the protectors of your security, and this man uses his fame and name to make us the real enemy of the people? He may as well work for the terrorist. SE, okay. Let's move on to the next one. Tell us about Mr. Benjamin Franklin. JP. Oh, that Franklin guy. First, he is what we despise the most. He is what His Current Highness Obama is determined to squash forever. Yes, he is a known leaker, a whistleblower, a proven traitor. He defied the higher powers in charge of people's security by leaking the Hutchinson's letters, thus undermining the ruler's government. Our regime won't show the meekness and weakness of the Bush regime. As you can see, we now arrest and jail these leakers, whistleblowers, and Franklin is not and won't be an exception. Of course, there is also his famous inflammatory and preposterous propaganda against national security, such as this. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. What kind of nonsense terrorists abiding is this. We have also suspicions that he may be behind the ludicrous opt-out movement. I wouldn't put it past him. If so, we'll also issue him a $11,000 fine, have the right to indefinitely hold him in custody. As we approached the end of our interview, I quickly asked him the following question. S.E. Sir, these men have been dead for over 200 years. How can long dead men be of any threat to our national security? J.P. We haven't found any hard evidence, any scientific proof of their deaths. Have you? Sure, it is said, only said, that they are in fact dead. Can you, with no doubt, prove that the men inside those graves marked with the names Jefferson and Franklin are indeed the real Jefferson and Franklin? Maybe with excavation and DNA samples and... However, that doesn't seem to be the case here. Come on, these guys were known for their resilience with a propensity for resistance. Who says they couldn't still be alive today? When it comes to our national security, we do not take any chances, and this is no exception. Americans have trusted us with their security through their private parts and hard-earned dollars, and we are not about to let them down by taking chances on resilient and men keen on resistance who may unwittingly and indirectly aid and abet terrorists, whether they are said to be long dead, founding fathers, or Quaker grandmothers. S.E. One last question, Mr. Pistol. How about Patrick Henry, John Payne, or even the U.S. Constitution? Are those all classified as terror threats and watch list inhabitants? J.P. We are not going to divulge classified information, and the names of our suspects are all considered classified. As for the Constitution, who says there is a Constitution? Last time we investigated, we found it to be a mythical, highly irrelevant. Now I'm going to hang up and wait for your list of names and sources you pledged to divulge. At this point, Mr. Pistol, also known as Mr. P-Stall, hung up. As for my list of names faxed to his office, I kept my word and faxed him a signed paper containing the following names: John Brown, Aaron Dwight Stevens, and Mary Jenkins Surratt. They may all be long dead men and women, but as Mr. Pistol says, these people were known to be resilient, and who can prove they are really dead? This piece was originally published here at Boiling Frogs Post. And so there you got it. How we know that Osama bin Laden's still alive today. How do we know this? He may just be alive today. The government thinks so. I believed he died in 2002, 2003 of kidney failure, but apparently the government keeps saying he keeps making recordings and keep coming forward, and now I guess they got tired of lying because they're realizing everyone's not believing the lie anymore, and so they're saying that this new guy they got now, this whatever Abu Ahudu or whatever, it's with the little beady glasses and turban on, who looked like he was raised in the university and went through the terror school in America, or the assassin school, is in charge of the Al-Qaeda's now, or is it the Al-CIADA's, which I believe is what the real terrorists are out there. They make terrorism. Remember, the banks make terrorism. They're the families, the richest families on the planet, who play risk games with humans' lives, and they even control the media, the mainstream media, because today Ron Paul was on there talking about the TSA, pat downs and the radiation machines, and this lady, I can't think of her name, on CNN, but she was swearing in her own way of talking that those cartridges, those ink cartridges, were bombs. They had explosives in them, even though they were told by the investigators they didn't have explosives. And it got to Obama, and he said, you better take another look. And then they go, oh yeah, they did have residue on them of of explosive material. See how they did that? Well, until next time, this is Spellbinder. Be good at it, and enjoy the story. It was humorous.